Butter bars. What are butter bars? Well, in the military, they're newly commissioned second lieutenants, sometimes called shaved tails, but they don't like that. Let me tell you a story about General Rowney, commanding general of the 24th Infantry Division, mechanized in Augsburg, Germany. I was sitting in the mess hall at Reichskaserne. It was midweek. We're wearing fatigues. I was a newly promoted buck sergeant, so I was sitting pretty close to the officers' table when all of a sudden Major General E.L. Rowney appears. Well, we all snap to. He says, "As you were." He goes over and sits down. A few minutes later, these 3 butter bars walk up to the general's table and say, "May we join you, sir?" He says, "Gentlemen, have a seat." I was close enough to hear the conversations that took place, and it appears that Major General Rowney pays attention to detail. He looks at the first second lieutenant and he says, "You're an ROTC graduate, son, correct?" He says, "Yes, sir, I am, but how could you tell?" He said, "Well, I see you have jump wings, and that might have been a summer program, and you've got a clean-cut haircut. College boy." "It's correct, sir." He looks at the second lieutenant, and he said, "You, sir, are an OCS graduate." He said, "Well, that's correct, sir, but how could you tell?" He said, "Well, son, I see a CIB on your fatigues, jump wings, and also a 25th Infantry Division patch on your right shoulder. With that much time in service, I would expect to see this on at least a first lieutenant, if not a captain." "Is it correct, sir? I spent 13 months in Vietnam with the 25th Infantry Division mechanized." He looks at the second lieutenant, and he said, "You, sir, are a West Point graduate." Well, the lieutenant says, "But how could you tell, sir? I look just like the second lieutenant who was out of ROTC. But how did you know I was a West Point graduate?" He said, "Well, son, it was kind of simple. I myself am a West Point graduate, and I saw your class ring as you were picking your nose." And that's the way it was.